Henshin Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary. This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. I will be discussing the downs, ups, and whats of Donbrothers 28. This is Super Sentai Sanctuary episode 28. I Hate You Too. The episode was called Secret Secrets, and it originally aired September 11, 2022. The writer is Toshiki Inoue. The director is Ryuta Tasaki. And I really like this episode. I will give you my score later, but for now, I'm going to start with the downs. So, there's no explanation as to why a Hitotsuki must be defeated in combat rather than let them run their course. What do I mean by let them run their course? Well, this young lady, Mizuho, was jealous or obsessed with, and that seems to be the key to a Hitotsuki obsession, obsessed with finding her painting, getting secret back from her dead boyfriend. And, gosh, were they even actually lovers? Or, oh man, that actually makes it better if nothing ever happened between them, but there was this love between them, and then he died tragically. No, because he trusted her, so there must have been a greater relationship. We just saw, like, the beginning of their relationship. Anyway, I'm just thinking, like, how amazing would that be if her love for him was so great, and it was this amazing unrequited love where they never got to do anything about it, really, except for love each other from a distance. As they were closing the gap, he dies, and then boom, things. Oh, man, that'd be amazing. Anyway, write that down, MJ, for future reference. Anyway, so, you know, we had Tsuyoshi, who's obsessed with saving and protecting Miho from all threats, foreign and domestic. Oh, man. And she, you know, he got over that because they defeated him. But who's to say somebody couldn't get a Hitotsuki and then have their problems fixed and then stop being a Hitotsuki and then just go back to normal? Or maybe they're always a Hitotsuki, but the Hitotsuki is under control. We haven't had that conversation yet in the show, but we could. There are questions that can be asked about that. There's lore that can be explored, but it's not happening right now. So the fact that that could be explained and it's not, it takes away from it for me a little bit. So that's a down. Next down is Jiro came out of nowhere. I want to know, why must this persist? Why? Is it Inoue? Is it Bandai? Is it Shirakura? Is is that the right one? You're not supposed to know about Trinity? I think Shirakura, I think it's Shirakura who's the we don't know, you're not supposed to know about Trinity guy. But anyway, mad respect to you, sir. Thank you. Keep doing your work. I support you, Mr. Producer. Not screw, but forget about the English fans. You know, we're doing our own thing. But anyway, regardless, is it you? I hope it's not you. I'm going to pretend it's not you just because I like what you do. So I'm moving on from there. And actually, it was his interview, the interview with him, and I think Inoue was in it too, that was on Tokunet, that actually convinced me to watch the show because I thought it would be really interesting. Moving on to the ups. The ups of Donbros 28. Mizuho threatening to expose Tsubasa was a delightful shtick. You know, first she grabs him, like hooks him with her umbrella, and says, "Hey everybody, this guy's suspicious, isn't he? Doesn't he think we're good?" And then she has a bullhorn out of nowhere, or a megaphone rather, and that was delightful. And I don't know, I just really dug it. I really dug it. The lady's attitude was great. Great performance. Next is Mizuho and Takeo's romance and flirtation was on point. Fabulous. I already waxed about how I like it so much earlier, but you know, kudos to those two for selling the relationship on so little, especially with I Hate You and I Hate You Too. I don't know what it is, and I'm actually like very into healthy relationships and saying what you mean and not playing games. I've been married for 13 years now, thank God, to a wonderful woman, and the more, like, she's really helped me and pulled me out of my shell and gotten rid of a lot of my darkness and just, you know, bad, unhealthy things that were ingrained in me for a long time. And, you know, Baruch Hashem. So anyway, but thanks to her, like, I now know and I accept that there's a push and a pull, and there's like flirtation, and there's sometimes you don't sometimes you say things you don't mean, and the other person knows that you don't mean them, and there's like this interesting push-pull that is like it's not always in the most intimate of moments, but there's this push-pull and this tension, and it's like this unspoken thing that can exist between a couple that, like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like a secret language you two only understand, but maybe you only understand in the moment, because in another context, if you said things a certain way or looked at each other a certain way, it wouldn't fly. But in the context of that moment, it works. And I hate you and I hate you too, to me, screams of that. And some of their interactions before then too definitely are replete with that sense, or that, it's really hard to describe, but like, they've got the whole deal. So it felt super real to me, and I found that impressive because they were able to execute it in a children's show. One other time when there was something like this, but it was a little more graphic, you could say, was the scene in... Major spoilers for Kamen Rider Kiva, one of my favorite shows, also done by Toshiki Inoue for Toei. So anyway, Kiva spoilers. Yeah, I'm gonna go full spoilers. Otoya, who is Wataru's father, and Maya, who's the Fangire Queen, who already has a husband, who is also Wataru's mother. Oh God, I love that show so much. Anyway, they have a scene together where they are making sweet music. No, they're making a violin, which makes sweet music, and their hands are working. It's kind of like the scene from Ghost, not Kamen Rider Ghost, but the Patrick Swayze Ghost, where they're working together on the violin. And the phrase that came to my mind when I originally saw that, like, I don't know, 5 years ago or whatever, was hot hand scene or hot hand sex. I can't remember what I said, but like, you could tell, like, them constructing the thing that makes sweet music, which I hadn't even made that connection until now, I think. Them doing that together was like 100% a code for them having sex. And like, I think that was the only time they were together, and that's, you know, what produced Wataru. And gosh, I have so many complicated feelings about Kiva, but I won't go on about that. But like, the only thing that's given me similar feelings of, well, there was one other thing, which was in Kamen Rider Z at the end, when Haruka and the lady, I can't remember her name, unfortunately, Yuki, I think, or Yukiko, anyway, when they're like reaching towards each other and he saves her, they're falling in this, like, out of the sky from high up, like, that was, well, really like the arm wrestling scene with them, I think in that episode, the final episode of Z, was like really strong too, and it had a very, like, this is not, you know, just, this means more than what it's showing, but it's being done in such an artful, beautiful way, and it really works, and it's something I really, you know, laud. But like, yeah, the on like the scale of spiciness, if you want to put it that way, the hand scene in or the violin making scene in Kiva is tops, but like, it was more graphic and almost a little bit more vulgar. Like, you felt like you were watching an intimate moment, which you shouldn't have been watching. And the hand thing in Z was not like that. It felt like right, and it felt cool and good. I guess kind of like a kiss scene that you want to see in a show or movie, if you know, if you enjoy that sort of thing. But like this scene here between Mizuho, or yeah, I think that's her name, Mizuho, and what's her? Oh, and Takeo. It had a similar vibe, but it was like pure and wholesome and clean, except they were saying "I hate you" instead of "I love you," which is like a little perverse and a little subversive, but like, it totally works in this context and with those performers, you know, on that take. So anyway, lovely. I thought it was fabulous, if you can't tell already. And then moving on to the next thing that I really liked, which there was not a lot of combat in this episode, but here we go. The painting fight was wild. Everybody chasing it, throwing it, spinning it around, all sorts of fun stuff that they did. That was a lot of fun. It was a real blast. And then that new combination is really cool. I couldn't help but think of Funsaiki from G Gundam, and I had to laugh because the horse is wearing sunglasses. Like, that's so ridiculous. And it's like a mostly digital horse that's like unrendered. It's just black and green grid. Like, it's super weird, but I totally dig it. As far as what's, or, this is like things that didn't work or things I thought were odd or just things that stood out to me and I'm kind of curious about. Mizuho being able to control herself as a Hitotsuki's novel, I think is the first time so far, and I talked a lot about that in the beginning of this analysis. Next thing is, I have a lol, so, laugh out loud. Torajiro has that robe for no reason. Why? I know he's had it for a while, but like, he just like kind of appears out of nowhere, but he literally wasn't wearing the robe or the eye makeup or anything like that. And then the camera backs away from him and then all of a sudden he's wearing it. It just, I don't know, in the moment, it just felt really goofy, especially maybe because Jiro just came out of nowhere in this episode as well. So he pops out of nowhere and then next, cut, he's wearing the coat or, the robe or whatever. It's just odd. So odd. I don't know why they make these choices. Last thing, and did the painting always show Takeo on it? Because I noticed in the last scene as they were burning it, as Mizuho was burning it, that there was her, and then there was Takeo painting her. Like, you get this little glimpse of it, and it's like, it was really cool. Like, maybe there was a mirror behind her, and the mirror captures his image as he's painting her, and he looks so happy. It's a little, it's an oil paint. It's not impressionistic, but, like, it's not, like, super sharp on the details, and I just got it at a glance. But, like, he looked so happy painting this woman who he found beautiful and attractive and who he was in love with. And, like, I don't know, man, like, it was just captured in this painting. And, like, it's not even real. This painting was made for characters in the story for a show, and it's all fake. And yet, like, I don't know, that image, like, really captured it. It was really great. If I wasn't trying to draw attention with the thumbnails, I would have used that as the image. But I guess I was not I didn't have artistic integrity enough to do that on my own. So, oh well. What are we gonna do? And then, I had another. No. Yeah, I have a question here related to that. Like, is that the magic of love that makes his image appear there painting? I didn't go through and check the painting each picture, but I'm pretty sure when we first saw it, it prominently had just her being, just her sitting there in that chair. It was the study of her. It wasn't, had nothing to do with the guy. So anyway, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. I have given very few 9 out of 10s to Donbrothers. I am not beyond spectacle doing it, because I'm pretty sure the debut of Don Torajin, or whatever it's called, is also the episode that I gave a 9 to, because it was so cool and that action was friggin' amazing. But yeah, so I'm going to say this is the best filler episode in all of Donbros. That's true. The story, the love, and the tension of Mizuho getting the painting back and then destroying it at the end were wonderful. The fights were solid, and both Hitotsuki designs were really good. I like the A plus B equals explosion concept behind the Hitotsuki suit, and how it stood for love and the relationships in the show, because I think it was her relationship with Takeo, but it was also other relationships in the show, maybe Tsubasa and not Miho, whatever his lady's name is, and Tsuyoshi and Miho. And I just think it's super interesting. So that's all I have to say, actually, for this analysis. Things are tight. Things are hard for me right now. I'm having trouble staying on top of my production, especially because I'm doing Donbros, Futopia, and Geats, which, by the way, check back for links to those. And I'm trying to do a thing where I make sure I link between. If you're on the website on mgminers.com, you'll see at the bottom of the post, the show notes, there's the most recent stuff that you can find. I think that's sufficient for now, because you can always navigate to the tab or the menu where you can find all of hard half-boiled or all of Rider Tears with Geats. But on the video version of it specifically, I'm making sure to tag in and add the link to the other two that were available that week. So I don't know how many shows I'm going to be analyzing a week. 3 a week forever sounds exhausting and difficult. And I don't even know that I have 3 shows a week that I actively want to watch. But we'll see what happens. Stick around, find out, check out. I contacted an artist for the Godzilla-inspired children's book, and they seem excited about it. So we're going to keep negotiating and figure that out. I'll make an announcement as soon as I am ready to start getting the crowdfunding going for that thing. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you can find more at mgmunoz.com, as well as my entire library of analysis, art, and fiction.